schedules and time constraints is what we're used to. That's our life. All right, so do we want to talk about dress code first?
Okay.
And did you develop some new language, or we really didn't write anything, we just discussed it and had some agreement on a variety of different things, but we didn't type up anything new. I felt like I wasn't on, but I guess I am. Okay, thank you. So are you using the copy readers in the library in the office as well? Yeah, the office staff has been extremely nice and accommodating for us while we've been here. That's been awesome. And I feel like we owe them a gift card or something.
I agree. I thought about
And
that.
the tech support.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the office staff and the tech support we've been getting here at Topeka West, it's been very, very accommodating.
I think you'll see that our counter proposal gets back to much of what I shared just in comments before we broke, and what is acceptable to us. We did leave the faded out. We did accept the removal of appropriate length as far as dress is concerned. We are not comfortable with the change that was submitted as far as t-shirts and sweatshirts, so we put back in the language that we had originally. Yeah, we took tunic out also. And we took faded out
Down below.
down below, yes.
Okay, thank you for the feedback and the development of this language. We did have a pretty good discussion about what we believed you would find acceptable and not acceptable. And well, I'm not going to say right now that we're going to TA this. I think we're close enough to where after maybe just a light discussion here this afternoon, I think we're fine. I just want to make sure that I get verbal approval from the rest of the team, but I think we're good.
Good.
We kind of had the discussion based on what you talked about this morning. So I think we actually, with dress code, have found a place to meet. I appreciate that.
That's great.
It's an important part of what we do and being able to do the job that we do. And I do continue to reinforce the idea that I think it was just time to look at it. And as we move into this next school year, to make sure that it's front and center in front of the teachers so that they understand what the expectations are for them as well. So I think we've successfully reached those goals. Now, we had any comments? I'm sorry, for anybody on this side? Okay. Okay. We're going to talk about the 8-hour day for a minute. I don't think we're going to come to resolution at this point in time, but we're going to get closer. The 8-hour schedule. Is the word schedule? And I realize it's scheduled because some of the days are block days and some of the days are skinny days, as we call them. So if I apologize if I use the wrong word, I just keep thinking, and nothing's an hour. Nothing's an hour. So if we could at some point in time come up with a different word for that, because none of us work for an hour. We looked at the language that Ms. Cope sent me about sunset, and we've had some discussion about that. We don't necessarily think that 3 years would be necessary for us to be able to come up with the data needed to defend or reject the 8 period schedule. But, and we've drawn up some language, but we're not willing to share that language at this point in time for reasons that I will now share with you. We've talked a little bit on this side about the eight period schedule, and you guys have talked about the 8-period schedule. I don't think we're ready to meet in the middle just yet, but we're getting closer, okay? So here's what I'm thinking. I understand that we don't have data, and the only way to get data is to do it. But I also know that there is research out there that shows whether this is effective or not. And having been a veteran of this school district, I know that every decision that's made by this district has always been research-based. That's part of what we do in Topeka Public Schools. We don't make quick decisions on anything, and everything is research-based. So we would request, if you have any research that defends the 8-period day, if you could share that with us, we would love to see that. But I will share some data with you that I think will, be right up Gary's alley. And so this is what I'm going to go through. If we add an additional instructional period to the high school day, okay, that actually does increase the workload a bit, some more for others. Then, I'm going to be teaching an extra period. It's also going to initially probably reduce my class size, which I'm a big fan of that. We all are. But down the road, that class size will not stay small, because down the road, what the district does, and it's fiscally responsible, is realize that maybe if we've got an 8-period day, we don't need as many teachers. But that's just speculation and not anything that we can base anything on. But I'm going to go back to last year, and I'm going to talk about last year. The raise that was given to the teachers was $1,000, okay, plus step. We're going to go with that $1,000. Now, based on the information we were given yesterday about the proposal from Blue Cross Blue Shield, realizing that it's not finalized, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm a Plan B person, so my insurance is going to go up if this were the plan that we went through, and I know that this is not formal yet, but follow me on this track. So my insurance is going to go up about 44% a month, and I'm not playing the employee plus children or employee plus spouse, it's just me. Okay, I'm well beyond those years. So that's an increase of $61.04. So the increased cost for me in a year's time is $732.48. So let's speculate that we got a $1,000 raise this year like we did last year. $732.48 of that raise is going for my increased insurance costs, leaving me with an increase in my salary this year in real dollars of $267.52, which will be taxed. We all pay taxes. But let's not worry about the taxes. Let's just take $267.52 and divide that by the number of contract days that I have. The increase in my salary, if the raise the district is able to provide, and the insurance plan that we were presented with yesterday is the one we have, is 5 cents a day. So you are asking me, as a high school teacher, to teach an extra instructional period for 5 cents a day. So the math doesn't support what we've been presented so far. So here's where I'm going, and I'm going to play a little bit of hardball, but that's what we do. It's day 3. We have a proposal that we have typed up. We are suggesting that the sunset be in 2 years rather than 3. We have written language that says that teachers should have no more than 5 preps, even if they're teaching 6 classes a day. We have put that language in there. But we're not willing to discuss it further until we are aware of what our pay and benefit package will be. Because I can't ask my colleagues to teach an extra instructional period and only offer them 5 cents a day. So we have the language. It is on hold. We are not saying no. We are closer to where we were before. but we're still saying not yet.
Would you be willing to let us view a draft of that language, knowing that it is, at this point, it is not a true proposal that you're passing?
I can email it if they want.
Can you,
I can download it as a PDF and email it, is what I mean.
I would like it to, I would like the paper to say draft.
Oh, I can put that at the top, yeah. Yes.
I don't care if it's a PDF or Word document.
Who do you
but
want
I
me to
would like
send it
say
to?
draft. And is it okay if we just email it to somebody?
Yeah, just send it to Lori.
Okay. We can do that.
Yes.
Karen, I have a quick question for you, not related to that at all. I don't know if you know the answer to this question or not. Obviously, I went through yesterday and picked up my paycheck, most recent one, kind of went through and worked out this data. And I don't want to discount this at all. I would actually like this to be said in the public setting, that for me, the board pays almost $500 of my insurance and I pay the other 40. And I know moving forward, that's not going to change. My costs will increase. That's an incredible benefit that Topeka Public Schools provides. Do you know when was the last time that dollar amount changed, or does it change? Is it a percentage? Does it change every year? I don't know. I mean, I tell these guys I have my paychecks from 1991, so I'm that person. But I just thought off the top of my head, if you know if that benefit amount has changed, does it change normally, or when was the last time it changed?
Board contribution
Lori,
Yes.
ignore that email, I'm sorry.
The
I
board
downloaded the wrong one.
to health insurance?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been static
I wish people would stop messing with my stuff.
as long as I've been in this job.
Oh, okay.
15, I can tell you that.
Okay.
And when Gary moved to this job, prior to that, he was in purchasing.
Okay.
So I think that the contribution has been the same since I've been, which is 12 years.
Yeah. I just remember that Billy probably remembers this. I know Jermaine will remember this. When I first started working for the district, we actually got an insurance stipend. Not only was it paid 100%, but we got, I don't know, it was like $20 insurance stipend. It was crazy. So not only was our insurance completely board paid, but the board, depending upon which insurance plan we had, and again, I could go back and look at those paychecks, I actually got a stipend, but we are completely, and that's neither here nor there. We're in a completely different insurance world now than we were 30 years ago. But that's,
Not even comparable. Really.
One thing,
No, and I just, and this isn't a pointed message at all, but when you said, we know the step, let's set that aside and just talk about the $1,000 last year. Let's not set aside the step. I want everybody to understand those are real dollars, and it takes about $500,000 to get your step.
right,
Okay? I mean, those are real dollars.
yes. Right. And the only reason why I went with the $1,000 amount is because there are people who don't get it. So not everybody gets a step. Most people do, but there are a few who don't. And I could make it 1,500, but I don't think the numbers would sound a whole lot better.
Lucinda, one point that I'll make concerning the board contribution. When we compared what our board contributes to health care to what surrounding districts board contributes, I can't speak for what it is today, but the last time we looked at it, which was a year or two ago, our board still contributed more toward employee health care than what our neighbors in surrounding districts board did. So even though it's been a number of years since that has been adjusted, they were definitely pretty far and above what other districts were doing when it comes to that contribution.
We're also very aware of the fact that when we compare our insurance to other districts nearby, ours is head and shoulders above. We do have a good insurance plan. You know, that is one of the discussions that happens in teacher circles across districts. And we are aware of the fact that the insurance plan we have is, I would say, probably the best in the county. So our coverage is better than the others. Yeah. So, and I think you find agreement on this side. So holding on to it is important. And it is an important benefit for Topeka Public Schools, and hopefully an important draw. I do know of teachers who have come into the district from smaller districts or outside of even the county itself to join Topeka Public Schools because of things like the insurance benefit.
Thank you for being willing to share that draft document.
Mhm.
We'll review that. What we would propose happen for the remainder of the day. We're going to break for lunch.
Mhm.
And then we're going to come back and caucus for some additional time before we adjourn for this afternoon. And then plan on reconvening tomorrow morning. We'll share with you, like I said before, our proposal around monetary fees.
Okay. That sounds good. I think we are going to caucus for a little bit here before we go to lunch. We're going to talk a little bit about the dress code and some different things like that. So I think we're going to caucus for a little bit here, but we're fine with the break for the day, and we will see you guys in the morning. Is there anything else that you'd like? No, I think we're okay. We're ready. Yeah. The extra days for the library, as you mentioned, you were still working on. I kind of kicked things off at the end of the day. What did we get done? What did we not get done? So I think we're good. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
And you let us off in the heat of the day. By the way, look at that. It was 96. I tell you what, these band kids out here, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry. I talked to one yesterday and I said, well, I guess that's why you're the best band in the land. And she said, yes, that's what we are.